Okay, so started recording at 3 seconds. Okay, basically I'm just making a video of me real time in Zbrush, just sculpting away, and I'm just going to make like a bust, you know, like the head of a character and his shoulders and stuff. I can't be asked doing a full character because it can take up to like 30 hours or something stupid, and yeah, I can't be asked filming 30 hours of real time stuff. Anyway, this character I'm making is based off the inspiration of 3 different types of characters. The first one is Beehive from Pan's Labyrinth. I can spell Pan's Labyrinth right. I can't spell balls. There we go. Which is basically this guy here. Is it freaky? Yeah, it's basically a sack of skin with no eyes, except he's got his eyes in the palms of his hands. It's pretty weird. Well, I don't know, I just like how freaky he is. You look at him, you're just like, what the fuck? You know, he sort of puts you in a sense of sort of discomfort for some reason. He's got a lot of black teeth and all this droopy sagginess. But I'm not going to be doing anything like that because it's a bit poo. It's not poo, but I just don't want to make some droopy, saggy guy with like eyes in his hands. But anyway, moving on to the next one. Because apparently the next character is based, or not based, but inspired by Beehive. And this one is the Angel of Death from Hellboy 2. I don't know, there's something really cool about this character. Find a better quality picture. Go large. Where is the cool picture? Oh, where's this shot from the movie? Oh, I can't. I just unplugged my phone because I'm recording this off my phone, as I don't have any recording equipment on my computer. So the sound may be out of sync a little bit. Anyway, this is the Angel of Death in Hellboy 2. I don't know, there's something really sort of aesthetically pleasing about his head. I like, I don't know, there's just something peacock, sort of. I don't know, it's just cool to look at, it's very satisfying, it looks sort of menacing. Just the fact that you can't see his eyes, you know. It's got all these eyes behind it as well. You know, when you look at somebody, you sort of, the first thing you look for is the eyes. You know, you look at what they're looking at, and then obviously you make eye contact, and then the conversation happens there. It's a key thing to any sort of human interaction is eye contact. So I'm going to be taking this into consideration in my head. So I want it to have no eyes, just be like a mouth and some sort of plate. But there's something else very cool. I'm just going to leave my phone. If it dies, it dies. Which would be catastrophic. Okay. Alright, YouTube. Anyway, this YouTube video is actually a Zbrush tutorial for 3D print. Such a cool character. So look, there's the final one. Actually, let's go on this one here. Apparently this guy he made this from the inspiration of the Angel of Death, so it's kind of cool, it's like a chain of inspiration. Alright, let's just find a close-up of the head. It's very, I don't know, I just like how it looks, sort of, it reminds me of Alien a little bit. But it looks pretty cool, it's very sort of, it's very aerodynamic, and you know, there's just something very aesthetically pleasing again about this character, and I'm definitely going to take this into consideration. Just the way he sculpts like skin and stuff, in contrast with the hard surface part of this like shell. But again, just the fact that it has no eyes, you know, the fact that you can't engage this creature, you know, you have no idea what's going through its head, because you have no idea like what it's looking at, because it has no eyes, you know. So these are the three characters that I'm inspired by, and yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into ZBrush. I'm not quite sure how well you're going to be able to see the menus and stuff, because I'm working on a 26-inch monitor, so the res is quite big. Okay, I'm just going to start with ZBrush sphere. I'm not going to be sort of going into masses of detail like what I'm doing, like, you know, I'm clicking T to make it active, you know, I'm making it, you know what I mean, it's not going to be sort of too in depth on how to use ZBrush, but it's just going to be more about my thought process, as I'm really just doing this to get down my thought process, and so I can put it on my portfolio basically. So I think it's important to show how you think to the impossible employers that you're applying to. So just making a very rough bust. Always looks very dodgy at this point. It's just this sort of mess. I'm not that good at anatomy at the point, so it may look a bit odd. Just thought I'd say that in my defense, in case somebody's like, well, do your shit, man. I was like, I know. I'm not quite too sure. I don't want it to be a direct rip-off of what we've just seen, but I'm just going to be pretty close, very similar sort of style to it. But the main key concept is that it has no eyeballs. Sensory has to feel its way around and stuff. Not quite sure. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this in a minute. All I know is that I want it to be eyeless and it to have biomechanical features, meaning that it's originated from like an organic creature, but it has these really sort of cool and sleek mechanical parts integrated into its flesh. I know it's becoming quite cliched, really. You know, there's a lot of people doing it, but it's just something very cool about it, very current, and just the way it looks very cool. Okay, I'm gonna start using dynamesh a little bit. Dynamesh is cool. Basically, it just makes your mesh is topology very uniform, in terms of that the squares, the polygons that are making this mesh are equally spaced, and you can refresh that as many times as you want, which is very, 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 very helpful, especially in ZBrush, as you lose res from pulling and pushing certain areas. I think for now I'm going to start sort of just putting in very obvious human anatomy sort of areas, so I can sort of really flesh out where I want to take this thing. I really don't have a solid idea in my head at the minute. I'm trying to think about what bits are going to be metal, what bits aren't. But I also need to think about what is going to be covering the eyes, or where the eyes would have been. So it's looking a bit like a helmet at the minute. Some say that this is the most fun part, really, but I find it very stressful. It's just, there's so much like infinite sort of possibilities that you can do. The thing about it having no eyes, because that is the first sort of thing that when you're talking to somebody, you know, it's an automatic thing now, you know, you look at the eyes I guess mainly because it's polite, you know. It sort of shows that you're giving that person um, your full interest. You know, you're giving them eye contact and you're not focusing on anything else. You're just listening to them, and you know. But if you don't have the eyes, if your eyes are taken out of the equation, the next sort of focal point would be the lips, because that is what's producing the noise, you know. So I think a very sort of super important aspect about this character is going to be the shape of the lips and what they convey to the person who's looking at this. This may sound a bit weird, but you can sort of say a lot with how the lips look. It's going to sound weird, but I think sort of some lips look like look very intelligent. Not that the lips have intelligence themselves, but I don't know, it's just, you know, when you see somebody and they have like a really derpy sort of look about you, you expect them, like when they start speaking, they're going to be like, you know, and it's to do with, I guess, much more than just their lips alone, but the lips have so much sort of importance. Because that's what's producing the noise and the way they move, and just the overall curvature of them has to sort of look like it belongs to something intelligent, you know? You don't want it to be this sort of super fat, you know, you don't want it to look too gangster. The main sort of thing I'm thinking about lips at the minute, all I can think of, I've got a large picture of Finalizing on my wall, which is the assassin from Mass Effect. I don't know, I like the way his lips look. And they look very sort of juicy and stuff, and very aesthetically pleasing. But I don't know if it's because I know that Finalizing is an intelligent sort of character, you know, the way he carries himself, the way he speaks, and I don't know if that's just me relating his sort of facial features to intelligence like that, or if it is the lips that just look intelligent, you know. But either way, I'm going to be looking at them lips, and I'm making the lips on this thing. It's looking a bit like a haze mask at the minute. I want to try to make it streamlined. I don't know, something about making stuff look streamlined that is also, again, very aesthetically pleasing. I'm probably going to overkill that word for this video. But I don't really have another word for it, you know, it's what it is, isn't it? It looks nice. And, you know, I'm trying to sound intelligent, so I'm just going to use the word aspect. Let's smooth this down. Okay. I don't want it to look like a mask, but I may integrate some sort of mechanical things there. So I'm going to update the dynamesh a little bit. Might have overkilled it there, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. I need to get in some sort of lippage. Okay. This may look a bit derpy to begin with, but all things do at the very start. See, I don't know if I should have a much larger chin. So that the lips, you know, it's everything about it, all the surrounding features can make or break the lips. And the chin, which is quite a large sort of area right next to the lips, is pretty important. Okay. Let's take a look at Finalizing a little bit. The side profile looks a bit big. Let's bring out this bottom area a little bit. Bring that bit in a little tiny smidge. It's maybe a bit big at the bottom there. Anyway, I didn't got enough res to sort of put the shape that I want in there. Let me just mask out a little bit. Get that a little bit down. I'm going to pull out some sort of top area. I mean, this isn't going to be a lip, but it just needs to suffice be on the same level as that bottom lip area, otherwise it will look dodgy. Okay, it's looking very much like the guy Future, isn't it? But his was pure organic, you know, it looked like some sort of, it was mixed between a rock and something. It looks a bit too happy at the minute. It's probably due to the lips being a bit too big. There's probably not an awful lot more I can do right now at this resolution. Looks really sort of happy in a minute. Maybe I sort of bring down and have that sort of sagging area where it sort of bulges out a little bit on most guys. Be like a little dimple area there. So I'll bring that bit down a little bit. I think also this sort of bit here, it's really not helping. I always seem to make really happy stuff, like unintentionally. I don't know why, but anything I make just looks really sort of smiley, and it's all like, yeah! I don't know if that's just my stupid mind. Like, I can't even think of it. I really want to make mean stuff. I'm like, who? I just think I've got a really stupid mind. We also think the head might be sort of too long for it to be menacing, you know, it's really sort of elongated. Might sort of try something here. Let's bring that out a little bit. Like I say, I'm really just winging it, but no sort of course of action here. Okay, it looks a bit derpy at the minute, so I'm going to bring in that bottom lip area a bit like that. Quite like that. It really doesn't matter about this bit because I'm probably going to extract out a piece to cover it. Add some sort of weird metal design on there. I'm thinking if we sort of bring this down past the chin. So I guess this is more like a concept piece, but I'll probably extract out a lot of the detail from this. But when I actually extract that out, I'll pull it out. Or maybe I quite like this line here. Let me just refine that a little bit. Let's pull this back out a little bit. Maybe squeezing his chin. Give him sort of more like the guy from Deus Ex. He has a very triangular chin. Let's get some light going on. So I don't want a lot of this guy to be organic. I want it to be very sort of metallic. Purely because I really sort of shy away from doing mechanical stuff, as it's very difficult. But not this time. I'm going to really sort of try and excel myself here. And we'll give him some sort of cool holes in the neck coming down. This is random. I'm not even really thinking about what I'm doing here. I'm just basically pushing and pulling bits of it to make it look cool and interesting. It's basically what a lot of creature sort of stuff is mainly this time. It's just you using the positive and negative side of your brush. Doesn't really make any sense at all, you know. Or at least I don't. Maybe it's because I'm a rubbish sculptor, but I think that looks pretty cool. It looks a bit old. It looks like a droopy skin at the minute, which I don't really like. I suppose it's just the roundness of the bottom area there. Let's get a bit of let's polish brush. Sorry, polish is always awesome. Okay. Just thinking how I can separate this into panels. I need to think about the shape of this as well. It's going to be very important. I don't know if it should be sort of something more like that. Or if it should follow the curvature of how, you know, a head normally works. Yeah, I'm thinking about just making this one big pile. It looks a bit crappy before. Try and sort of, yeah, making this as well. It just depends how it's going to corner itself off. I'm really starting to dislike these droopy bits. Don't know, I just don't think they're working quite well. But I do like that. It's probably pretty cool. I'm not worried about the roundness. That'll get sorted when I extract it and use some of the clipping brushes. Okay. I have an idea for these sort of tendon areas, which I'm going to use probably extracted Z spheres to do. But I'm just going to try sculpt a more predominant shape. I want them to like stick out quite a lot. The only problem about doing biomechanics is that I'm not very educated on the subject. So I know a lot of people study, you know, like modern, what's the word? I don't know, like maybe planes and stuff, or like spaceships and stuff like that. Because a lot of the time you try to make something like sci-fi, you know, there is actually quite a few pieces of real world reference you can use. And I just really haven't put the effort in to check that out yet. I should really, as it'll all get sort of lodged in your mind, and when you're designing stuff it'll start to show and come out. I'm just trying to figure out a way how I can integrate these pipes into his neck. I guess it's going to go in there, this little tendon area, make this bit organic still, and then we'll have this coming down like so. But for some reason I'm thinking like a circle. Cylinders are always awesome, mechanical stuff. They just work. Sorry, they just look awesome. You can do almost anything with a circle and it'll look mint. So I'm just going to pull out a really rough circle. Okay. But again, this is nothing. I'm not even going to use this mesh in the final sort of area. It's a pretty sort of well-known technique now to sort of build what people call a concept mesh, which is basically what I'm doing now. It's just concepting and literally just having free roaming session of trying to rack my brain and think of something cool. And then what you do is you build around that using extraction tools and all the rest of it to make a refined version of your idea. It's a pretty cool workflow, time consuming, but it works very well. It's got to be sharp. It's going to come up, I'm going to pull it in, I'm going to pull this bit out down here, and around there. Let me just carve this out a little bit. That's from where I moved the mesh before. It's pretty warped around here. It's probably warped there a little bit as well. It's nothing that a bit of Zbrush can't handle. I'm just going to skim over that. Just add a bit of whatever in there. It's always nice. Right. So that is the basic thing. And that chin really isn't starting, it's starting not to work anymore. It looks a bit droopy old, you know, and old is not cool. So I'm just going to sort of smooth this out. I might make it very sort of procedural, maybe very sort of square. I'm pretty junior gum, something like that. But again, organic stuff always changes quite a lot really when you're sculpting, you know. It looks a bit better. Okay, so we've got these big neck things going on here. Don't know if I should make this into some sort of brain area, or some sort. I think I should make these into big plates. But the way the shoulders move, they need to sort of be quite free. But I think this guy, he looks kind of as if he'd be very tall and his arms would be sort of very slender. He's looking a bit recon at the minute. So I think for the shoulders, I'm going to sort of really roughly, with my dodgy anatomy knowledge, cut out where the shoulder blades, not blades, I guess I'm not quite sure what the anatomical name is for them, but it can't be lats. I have no idea, I'm not even going to attempt to name these, but because it has to move sort of in a round rotational sort of movement, it's going to need, right, I'm going to cut straight down the middle, but I'm going to add in a bit of a hinge or something, like so, just to make it more interesting instead of a straight line. It needs to have a sort of a really evident gap in there, maybe a bit more than usual really. And that's going to be, I might make this a bit smaller as well, just to make it a little different. And we'll sort of make that into, we'll make a line actually going up there, and we're really going to cut into this. I'm going to stream back down sort of into that sort of shape, so really get away from this area of him. I'm going to cut it down there a little bit as well, really sort of get in there And I guess I might make this as some sort of underlying suit underneath. You know, like okay. This is gonna be a very sort of dire bit of the video. Let me plug this back in. Yeah, this is still recording. Alright, cool, we're still good. Okay. Sorry about the noise there, I just dropped my phone on the floor, which is recording this. Okay, so it needs to sort of have this motion, allowing it to move how the shoulders should do. But if he raises it up, that's probably going to dig into the side of his neck. So it's going to have to sort of allow itself to collapse in on itself, which is going to require these to be separate, which sort of ruins the design I had before. So I'm just going to cover that up. That doesn't look very nice now though. Doesn't sort of work, especially this bit here. So I may have to redesign this a little bit. Maybe into sort of panels or strips that look like they have the ability to be sort of, you know, just like move, like it could sort of rotate upwards. But I might make them sort of cascaded so they overlap each other. Or I can make it as if the hinge is in the middle. Like if I cut out this sort of middle section here, like so, and make the lines very, very tight. And then, I don't know, I might actually add in a sphere, or, you know, like a very sort of small cylinder into that area, and have some sort of pool, you know, bits going around. I'll have to smooth that down and extract it. But for this head, for the back of the head, let me just cut down like so. Let's cut this out. I'm going to go for a very traditional, well not traditional, but sort of popular style of mechanical, which is very circuit board details, you know, like little strips and little circles everywhere at the back of his head, just to make it look fragile, in the sense that, you know, when you're looking at somebody or you're engaged in combat, you're usually facing them, so if you ever get them like behind view, you see all these sort of weak bits, like little systems and shit, which will be refined later. But for now I'm just going to rough in some designs, some lines, try and make them uniform, very in line with each other. Make that one stop there, and then these would sort of come down in a cascaded nature, and then these ones would come into here, and then that would go straight down. Okay, that's pretty cool. May not look that well when it's all done and refined, but I might add in like some sort of squares in between, just to give it some sort of more interesting in the middle bit. Add in some squares here going up as well, to sort of close up that gap. I'm not sure what I'm going to add in here. It might just be a noise or something. Let me just push that in a little bit. This is really not going well. Let's put my mic back on my neck. Back of the head look a bit dodgy in a minute. Really just refine this shape a little bit. Bring out my polish brush. I'm feeling I should harden this bit off here. Make it in line with that. Maybe sort of push that bit in and make it sort of come out a bit. Just try and integrate that as much as possible. And we're going to sort of bring this down like so. Bring it in, then in with this line like so, and push this down a little bit so I can make the edge of this more predominant and evident. Let me just smooth this off. Add that in. Like that. I'm not quite sure if I should add it more sort of streamlined, as in make it come brown like that. So I don't want it to look sort of too organic looking, as it's going to be metal. It may get edited, well it probably will do, with the clipping process. You know, make it much more. I can probably sketch it in a little bit. I just want to make it very sort of metal-y looking. Well, not metal-y, but much more sort of sharper shapes. So it's not as rounded off and edged. Bring that down there, and I'm going to bring this back up. And then this bit here will be conveying like that. And then this smaller end bit here. Okay. Get a bit of depth standard in there. Just going to start to cut out what I want this to be. That's a sort of line up like that. Okay. Right. I don't know if I should make this into some sort of something that reflects the brain. So very detailed, or make it into something very minimalistic or lazy, as my friend says. Just to add a contrast. As I'm assuming that these panels are probably going to have like loads of lines all over them and stuff like that, which I will design on the actual extracting meshes of these. Let's play around with this a bit more. That's pretty cool. Smooth this out a bit. Try and make it a bit more streamlined. The lips are going to be a total nightmare in this. Trying to make these look right. Such a sort of big part of this character, as you know, in terms of relating yourself. You know what? I think as well, when you look at a creature, you automatically, well, at least your mind or your brain does, it tries to figure out what it has in common with and the less and less and the more foreign it feels, the more sort of I don't know, I guess maybe sometimes it really does depend on how it looks, but it can be very intimidating when there is just no sort of human features about something at all, which I guess that is pretty difficult to make some of the times. There's always something that looks human on a creature, maybe the way it stands or something. Yeah, definitely need some work on the mouth, but I'm quite happy with that shape in a minute. The side view needs a bit of streamlining. Okay. Can probably sort these out in the actual sculpt, but yeah. We need to figure out these empty blocks. Let me smooth out these bits, make them more evident that they are metal. This sort of back section here, we're really not sure what to do with this bit. Might add some sort of cavity running through. Always looks okay, looks cool. Some sort of frame. I'm very unsure what to do with this. If I added ears, it would really ruin the streamlined look that I'm trying to go for. Unless it just has holes. I don't know, it's pretty cliche now, I was just whacking a hole in, saying yeah, it's in here. I don't know really. I mean, I'm a bit unsure about this bit as well now. How this integrates in. Maybe it should be more closely cut, following the curvature of its helmet. If I'm going for something high tech and streamlined. I don't know, maybe like it's got some sort of bracket coming out that holds that into place, like so, and then that new bracket's coming out of there. Let me just sort of try and squeeze this off a bit of there. What I might have is something like holding this bit in, and then that's going to be sort of finished from there, like so, and this bit's going to be wasted away. I might have that bit sort of coming down there, in like an L shape. There's two brackets like that. How will these connect? I suppose that actually looks pretty cool. If it was sort of like a square bracket underneath that, and then that joins through there like that, overlapping this bit, and then I'm going to have a big bracket as well. Watch how this one coming out to there, with it needs to be attached to something. I don't know if it'd work as well if I continue something else coming off that. I'm just going to put that up there, like so, put that going through. Might need to move this, you know, change that slightly, but once the refining starts to happen, you know, you can really sort of fine tune something much further than I have with the rough sculpt. The sculpt is just mainly getting the major forms down and all the major detail. Really want to sort this chin out there. It does look very old. I thought I should make it sort of squared off. It might make it look less organic. But that could be a cool thing. I might actually integrate Michael Bryden in the new Metal Gear. He has this very awesome sort of metal chin going on. Maybe have like that coming up there, some sort of thing coming up, and then it touches down here, it comes up onto that bit like that, and then these two spikes going around onto his lips, and these come down there like so, to some sort of large bracket, holds this into place. Like so, and actually this here could be round at the bottom, so it looks like his jaw is on like a pivot point or something. Quite like that. Yeah. Looks a bit of a mess right now, but that's going to be much more flatter than it appears to be. In fact, if I really sort of begin to flatten this out, I should have done that with the dynamesh standard brush. Okay, I'm just sort of try and integrate as much as possible the organicness of the lips. But get the dynamesh standard brush out. Basically, it's gonna cut into that bit there, like so. It's gonna have two things coming up there like that, then two things joining that, and then actually, let's go back a few steps. Can I redo that? Redo. Okay. Large sort of box, and then two rods. Like sort of hook onto his lips, and there's going to be that coming around there, like so, and then connecting up to this piece up there, and then some sort of standard robot sort of lines and shit coming down there. That's going to sort of, and then the organic stuff begins here, connecting itself in. That's going to be organic, along with his lips. It just looks like a cyborg now though, but oh well, quite pleased with it. Really sort of no idea about the design of his shell at the minute. Save that out. I think maybe because if we sort of split this into two pieces, we can have maybe it mocking out a nose, like so. We just sort of split this on its edge, like so. Yeah, following, but also tapering open like so. Then we'll taper that in a little bit and taper it back out to the back of this head. So I might sort of pull this out a little bit. Okay, so that's going to be round sort of area there. Might follow that up, bring it back in, taper that up there, up to this bracket sort of area. I don't know if it'll look cool if I mocked in the lips. No, just gonna keep that flat. Definitely adding that bit in there. That looks pretty cool. As for these bits, I've got quite a cool idea. Taper that end down like that and do that for the entire sort of thing. And then as for this piece here, it's going to bring it down like so. So it's pretty rough ideas at the minute, and probably really mumbly, and you probably can't even, I'm probably not even speaking coherently at the minute, but oh well. Alright, concept piece is almost done. At least the idea that I had in my head. It's changed quite a lot actually. The idea that I had was very, very organic. This is super metal. I have a hard time doing this. Okay, that's fine, man. That is the idea so far. Just gonna save that. Robot head. Yep. And close down Zbrush and Cam Studio. Stop. And